It's time to take 10 minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.
Welcome to our discussion of Parshat Naso, the making of man. Look in the Parsha, we have this fascinating and very bizarre story of the Sotah. The husband doesn't come out too good, the wife doesn't come out too good. The wife, perhaps she was tisteh, perhaps she went off the path. Perhaps she was shachav ish ita shichvat zera. Maybe she was sleeping around with someone else. It was not her husband. Maybe she was just nistira. Maybe she was just hiding off with someone, but she didn't actually commit any forbidden acts. That's her problem. And then his problem is avar lav ruach kinah. The husband is filled with a spirit of jealousy, not necessarily a good thing. And he kineh ishto. He says, "You better not seclude with that man ever again." And she does. And then we have to see what happened. Did she sleep with him? Did she not? What happened? So he brings her to the Kohen, and they bring a sacrifice of barley, reminiscent of the sacrifice we had at Pesach, before we became more human. And we brought the sacrifice of wheat at Shavuos, which we just celebrated just days ago. And then something very strange. He takes holy waters in an earthenware vessel, and from the dirt that's in the ground of the tabernacle, or one day in the Beis HaMikdash, Kohen should take that dirt and put that in the water. And then he takes her there, he uncovers her hair, and then he gives her this offering. And then what does he do? He makes her swear, etc. And then she drinks that potion. If she was guilty, she blow up. And if she was not guilty, then she's cleared from any accusations, and hopefully she'll have children following this. Special bracha that she'll have children. What is this business? Taking dirt and putting it in the water. What is this? What is this dirt? So it occurred to me, the dirt from the Mishkan is one thing. Tabernacle, that's in the desert. But the dirt, when you take the dirt in the Beis HaMikdash, in the Holy Temple, that dirt's different. Rabbis actually say that there was a tile that they would remove, and they had the dirt there. They would take the dirt, because there was no dirt on the Beis HaMikdash, they had tiles. Beautiful tiles that they discovered now from the archaeological excavations that they got from the dirt that the Arabs took out from the Temple Mount. They found the tiles, and they could figure out what beautiful patterns they had in the Temple Mount. So there was no dirt. So they had one tile that they would leave kind of open. They would take off the tile, take the dirt, and then put that in the potion. When I thought about dirt from the Beis HaMikdash, that made me think of something else. There is a medrash that God said to the angel Michael when he was making man. He said, "Give me some dirt from the place of the Beis HaMikdash." And that's what he did, and that's how he made Adam. Adam was made from the dirt of the Beis HaMikdash. When you go to Jerusalem and you say, "Oh, I feel like I've come home," because somehow the stuff of which we were made, the earth of which we were made, is from that Temple Mount. So the question is, why does the Kohen take the dirt to feed to this woman, to give her drink, and to put into this potion? Takes the dirt from the Temple Mount. He also erases he writes these curses, erases the letters into the potion, and she's also drinking some of that ink. But why the dirt? So I thought maybe it was connected to this midrash that the dirt of the Beit HaMikdash is where Adam came from. So sure enough, I opened the Tzror Hamor. Tzror Hamor is of Avraham Savang, and he starts off in Portugal, in Spain, then he gets kicked out to Portugal, Lisbon, he loses all his books, he goes to North Africa, he's roaming around, and he rewrites his books from memory. Some of the books were lost forever, and others, like the Tzror Hamor, he rewrote from memory. And there he says as follows. He says, since the creation of man was from water and the dirt, and since this dirt is the dirt of the land of Israel, and that dirt is the place where God took the dirt and made Adam, and this is a holy place, therefore we said, take that dirt and you put it in the water to see if this woman will have afar kadosh nivret minu. In this woman, what do we got inside this woman? In that woman, do we have the stuff of which Adam was made? Does it belong in there? The dirt can her body absorb that? Is that a foreign substance to take the holy dirt of the place where we all came from and put it into her? Or no? Or there's impure dirt in there. Meaning, let's say this woman slept with someone else. So she's creating a human being. We have the privilege, man and woman, to create a human being. Partners with God and making 3 partners, man, woman, and God, create the human being. But whereas, usually, it's a beautiful thing, it's a mitzvah, to be fruitful and multiply, it's part of the holiness of marriage, the kiddushin, the holy matrimony, the holy institution of marriage, family. And that makes this beautiful creation that harps back to the original dirt on the Temple Mount. This woman may have created a different type of human being, sort of a forbidden creation. It's not the creation that comes from God's holy dirt on the Temple Mount. This is a creation from forbidden mixed seed of this woman from this marriage with that man who's not part of this covenant, not part of that friendship, not part of that marriage. He's from the outside. This is not the way it was meant to be. This is against God's will. And therefore this child was created against God's will. It's not what it's supposed to be. And therefore it's an odd mixture. It's an odd mixture. It's a combination of, on the one hand, the holy dirt from the Temple Mount. On the other hand, this mixed seed of one woman from this marriage and a man who's not part of the marriage, and a forbidden relation that's against the will of God. It doesn't belong, and therefore it's a foreign substance. This holy dirt doesn't belong in her. She can't take it. She can't absorb it. It's mixing with the seed of this foreign husband, the foreign man who doesn't belong in this marriage. That it doesn't work together, and therefore her stomach will swell because these things don't go together. The beginning of creation, God showed us that we human beings are created according to His will. We say in our Kaddish that the world was created according to His will. As we say when we stand before a crowd at the wedding, we say, Hakol bara lichvodo. Here's this beautiful gathering. And all these people here, it's wonderful. And all of it is for the glory of God. But this forbidden child, this child was created in sin. He or she was not created in holiness, was not according to His will. And therefore, it's a very sad thing. This child will not come to fruition. The husband doesn't want this child to come to fruition. This child doesn't belong. We know that if the child was born, they're still holy and they're still beautiful. And if somehow you're born in that circumstance, every human being is still holy. But there is something vis-a-vis the woman, not so much vis-a-vis a child who's born. Once you're a human being, a mamzer tamid chacham, a mamzer, a person who's a bastard, a person who's born out of from a relationship that was a forbidden relationship. If he studies Torah, he could be higher than a Kohen Gadol, more holy than a high priest. We're not talking about the person who would then be born from this. We're talking about that this from the perspective of the body of this woman. This body of this woman is trying to do something incredible, create a human being. But that human being, according to this theory, and I know I'm delving into realms that perhaps I don't belong in, the realm of the creation of the human being, but according to this mystical interpretation, within the realm of that woman's body, this seed does not belong. This is a forbidden seed. This is not the way humanity is meant to be created. When a man and a woman marry, they then create the human being according to God's will. When it's through holy marriage, they're creating that child according to God's will. God forbid when there's a situation where a child comes to be against God's will, it's an unholy thing. It's a sad thing. And this is what the woman then suffers from, this mixture of holiness and defilement, holiness and God's will with something that's against God's will. There's an explosion inside of her, and this is the saddest thing of all. Let's hope that indeed we continue after Shavuos to live Ba'alma Divra Kirute, that we live in a world that's according to God's will, and that we help partner to continue to make the world a place where God's will is carried out. And if God's will is fruit, God's will is to have marriage, God's will is to have children, God's will is that there be the next generation, if God's will is that there be mitzvot, and that we follow the Torah and do the best what we can. Not everyone can have children, not everyone is able to find their partner, but if to the best of our ability we try, go on dates, we do the best we can to create holy families, then indeed, well, God willing, we can truly say, Yamlich Malchuteh, then God's kingdom will truly be complete when the world indeed is not against His will, but according to His will. Reminding us of the very beginning of creation, God took the holiest dirt in the world, in the Temple Mount, and from that He created the human being, Kirute, according to His will. Thank you for joining us here at the Baron Hirsch Congregation for a discussion of the Parsha. Join us each week for a discussion of the Parsha and the holidays. And thanks to Jason Lefkowitz, our producer. Thank you.
This has been 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.